Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out this afternoon. The plan for the afternoon is to dance squares. When Lisa and David Smukler and I were talking about what to do, and we said, well, we want to have Tony there. And we thought, contras or squares? And we said, no, contras, you hear the caller's voice once or twice, and then they shut up. It's all about... But in squares, you get to hear the voice. And so we're going to be dancing with instructions and dance calls from Tony. I'm going to say very little. Most of these will be done two squares in a tip, which is the way Tony liked to do it. And we tried to pick squares that would indicate sort of the breadth of Tony's experience, his interest, his expertise in many different styles of squares.
This is also my favorite of the musical settings, still from Trial by Jury. This is the judge's song. Forward again, ladies in the center, back to back. Chassé right. Return. Turn, partners, sides, face your partners, separate. Join the heads, go forward 8. All turn, partner to place. Honor your partners and your corners. Head couples forward and back. Forward and address your opposite. Back to place. Sides face grand square. Reverse. First couple, promenade inside. When you're home, face out. Sides fall in behind. Chassé by your partner, go. Balance forward. Chassé back. And balance. March. Separate. Keep to the right. Pass them by. Up the other side. Line to the side. Forward 8. Turn your partner, 2 hands. Heads face, sides forward, grand square.
Third and last of my tribute dances. This is a tribute to a gentleman who I'm sure Jim will agree with me was one of the all-time great modern square dance callers, a fellow named Marshall Flippo, who started, I believe, in the 1950s and is still calling. He splashed onto the scene with a recording of The Auctioneer. He was the first one to take that song and turn it into a square dance.
So as a caller, I identify certain sounds on the floor, and I heard a sound out there which made me think, let's listen to Tony teach that one more time and try it a second time. Were he here, he would do the same. Here we go, from the beginning.
Good enough. Here we go with The Auctioneer. Well, now you join up hands, make a ring, go to circle to the left like everything, then reverse trail along in single file. Ladies, step right out, go the other way back, turn your partner by the right when you get back, left allemande, then weave the ring a while. Well, pretty soon he began to see how the auctioneer talked rapidly, do-sa-do and promenade from here. He said, oh my, it's do or die. I've got to learn that auction cry. Got to make my mark and be an auctioneer. Well, last traditional Goodnight Square was Darling Nellie Gray. And there's 2 versions of it that I like. One is the original New England version, as far as I know, the one that Ralph used to call. Then there's one that his friend and contemporary Rod Linnell put together, which he called Atomic Nellie Gray, back when atomic was a good thing. Now you all join your hands and you circle to the left to the tune of My Darling Nellie Gray. You circle right the other way until you get back home. Look for the corner, here we go. Do an allemande left and a grand old right and left. Go dancing round the ring about halfway. You promenade you promenade back home, promenade with your darling Nellie Gray. First couple, you lead up to the right, and you balance there tonight. Circle left, go once around the way. Now you right and left, right over, and you pass right back. Now everybody swing your Nellie Gray. Do an alum and left, and a grand old right and left. Go dancing round the ring about halfway. You promenade your Nellie, now you promenade back home, and you bow to your darling Nellie Gray. That's all.
So before this last dance, Lisa Greenleaf is going to say a few appropriate words.
It could be inappropriate. Thank you. So I was asked to write this before Tony's tribute honoring at the Ralph Page weekend. So he did get to hear this personally. You're about to do the merry-go-round. So here's my description. Here is the quintessential Tony Parkes. He's standing on the stage at the last session of the New England Folk Festival, reassuring a full hall of excited and somewhat nervous dancers that all they have to do is trust him and help each other. For that, they will get a memorable ride on the merry-go-round. This traditional square, called for years by the late Ted Sonella, is a high-point ending. The dancers look forward to it as a way of capping off a terrific weekend, and not just any caller will do. You need someone with a commanding and clear voice who can radiate the thrill of a no-walkthrough dance while keeping clockwork rhythm with the full festival orchestra. That's Tony Parkes. You also need someone who can map out the choreography in his head, keeping one step ahead of the dancers as he spins increasingly dramatic patterns. It's even more impressive if you have a caller like Tony Parkes, who has a photographic memory and stands tall looking out at the hall the whole time. It's not a requirement that a good dance leader have such a mental facility, but if you plan to be a caller who wins a few games of Jeopardy, yes, on TV, as Tony did back in the day, you've got a lot to aspire to. Lastly, your enjoyment of the merry-go-round can be assured if Tony is your caller, because even if this is your first time you have danced to him, you feel happy and well taken care of, and you sense this is someone who knows a lot about square dancing. This is the big picture of just how talented Tony Parkes is.
I've had a couple of requests about this next dance, but I'm going to call it anyway.
Is there anybody out here who's not familiar with Ted's merry-go-round? The only thing you need to know is that it's a very forgiving dance. It's what's sometimes called hash. The caller calls whatever comes to mind. But you don't have to be in any particular position 6 calls after the start of each round. It all comes back to home place frequently.
As usual, dance good, because I'm going to watch carefully and call whatever it is you're doing.
Bow to your partner. Bow to your corner. Bow to your opposite across the hall. Swing the one you didn't bow to at all. Now run back home and swing with your partner. Swing your own. Now look for the corner, alum and left. But you come back one and promenade around your run. First lady ready. Lady number 1, go out to the right, turn the right hand chin with the right hand round. Your partner left with the left hand round. Opposite chin with the right hand round. Your partner left with the other hand around, and go out to the left hand chin with the right hand round. And your partner by the left, the other hand around. Opposite chin with the right. Your right hand chin with the left. Your partner by the right. Your left hand chin with the left. Now swing your partner, go to the center, and the others join hands around them. 6 hands around, and around you go. All the way around, and when you're home, everybody swing now with your own. Your partner swing, and the partner whirl, and promenade to go round the world.
I was playing once, and Donna comes up. and says, I'm starting a dance in Concord. Tony's going to be calling, and would you like to play piano? And that's how I met the two of them. I'm sure many people have talked about Tony as a caller, but as a piano player, he was excellent. Very, very French-Canadian influence. So I learned so much from him. And I was just starting out on the piano, and he would bring around yellow slips of chords. I think he worked in a mailroom and had all these oddly shaped pieces of surplus paper. Well, he was someone, you could almost say he doesn't need a band because the rhythm in his voice was so on. It's like playing with a really good fiddler. It makes the band's job so much easier if the caller has rhythm. His calls were right when people needed them to be. He was so precise.
Square your set, gent number 4. Swing your opposite lady. Swing her corner. Swing his partner. Swing her opposite lady. Swing your own partner's corner's partner. Swing your own corner's partner's corner. Now swing your own in the center and 6 hands around them go. Everybody swing when you're home, everybody you swing with your own. Look for the corner to an Alaman left with the corner. Right hand to your partner, grand, right and left around that ring you fly, hand over hand and don't ask why. All the way around you go, walk on your heel and on your toe. When you get back home, box the net with your partner. Pull by, Alaman left your corner. Come swing your partner there, everybody swing. All join hands, circle to the left. And the other way back. Into the middle and come on back. One more time at the same old track. Bow to your partner there, and bow to the partner corner, and bow to the opposite across the hall, and to the right, you've seen them all.
We're going to talk a little bit about Tony and then present the award. There are 3 of us who will be speaking. The first is the amazing Lisa Greenleaf.
So I just want to remind many of us of Tony's impact on the Boston area, New England area. After being a part of the Brimmer and May Tuesday night series in Chestnut Hill, Tony helped start a new contra series on Monday nights right here at the Scout House with his band, Yankee Ingenuity. Yay! This became one of the most popular dances in southern New England. The hall was packed, the music was hot, and Tony's calling was stellar. Imagine having to program a weekly dance to all those rabid contra dancers. That takes skill. How many of you actually attended the Monday night dance? Yeah! Then you remember the template that he had. The second dance was a mixer. Third dance was a square. First dance after the break went this way and was a chestnut. And then heavens, there were more squares after that, and we all loved them. Once I became a caller, I paid more attention to his programming and dance choices and collected many fine dances from him, some of which he himself wrote. More importantly, I listened to his careful teaching and made a mental note of his wording. Similarly, I was struck at how enjoyable he made the squares with his easy-to-follow patter. And that is a particularly meaningful contribution to the tradition. And I'm really glad that we were able to dance to his calling this afternoon. It's a nice blend of Western rhyme and New England precision, and not many callers can do that. And as a dancer, I just love it. Dancing at the Scout House became famous in large part because of Tony's weekly dance, a New England mecca where traveling dancers were made to feel at home and swept up into the modern contra dance zeitgeist. And I'm just curious, how many of you drove here from out of state to be here today? Thank you for coming. And the biggest event of the year was the Christmas Cotillion, famous now for stories of dressed-up dancers and performers rocking out to the music of Gilbert and Sullivan. Tony always performed the old quadrilles for which he became famous, and some of which he repeated at his iconic NEFA session, Elegant Squares and Contras. Of course, Tony also called at many weekends across the country and beyond, namely Brasstown, Pinewood, Stockton Dance Camp in California, as well as other regional venues where his particular talent was appreciated. And now to talk more about other contributions that Tony made is David Millstone.
I want to say a few things about Tony's legacy in print and in vinyl. So he moved here in Boston in '73 from New York to be part of the Boston scene. Within 3 years, out came a record, Fireside String Band, Square Dances for a Yankee Caller, meant to go with Rod Linnell's book. He was a piano player backing up Jerry Robichaud on several fiddle albums. Out came this album. How many people in the hall have this album? And do you have the version with calls or the version that's just music? It came out twice, 2 different versions, both. Then came Yankee Ingenuity, this album, this wonderful album. But wait, there's more. He edited the second version of this book of chords for backing up squares. The original version by Jack Slonaker had 150 tunes in it. By the time Tony was done, there were more than 500 in there. He was an extraordinarily strong piano player, something that most people didn't get to see who knew him only in the later years. Of course, there was Shadrach's Delight, and the CD that went along with it, in which Tony was demonstrating calling techniques. So it was usually just once or twice through a particular dance so that callers could listen and hear the timing and the breaks. And then, Son of Shadrach, da 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 da. And then the 2 textbooks. This is the first edition of Contra Dance Calling, a basic text, which is just a seminal work. And he went back and revisited it, came out with a second edition. And the project he had been working on for so many years, and we're so happy he was able to finish this before he died, his Square Dance Calling textbook, which is just the book on the subject. If you're interested in calling squares, particularly New England squares, this is the one. So Tony traveled, as Lisa mentioned. He called in Europe. He called at the Stockton camp in California. He was widely respected and brought his gift of knowledge and his enthusiasm and his love of people everywhere he went. He called 5 times at the Chesapeake Dance Weekend, which I think is the oldest dance weekend in the country. It was started in '83. And he was interviewed at his last time there. And I want to finish with this. The interviewer said, "Tony, what's in it for you?" And he says, "Some of it is being with people and being able to bring people together, seeing them relax in the company of other human beings, which is so rare nowadays. People become your neighbor and you care about how your neighbor is. They become family, people you care about. I love being a facilitator of that. There's also a real physical satisfaction in using my voice. Singing and talking in public is always something I've enjoyed doing. For me, it's a little bit of being able to show off. I was a shy kid, and it was something I could shine at. And you'd have to call it a spiritual factor of seeing love grow from thin air and envelop people as they discover this world. That's Tony.
Hi, I'm David Smukler. I'm the president of the board of the Country Dance and Song Society. Thank you. And before I actually talk about the award that we're going to present, I just wanted to say a couple things about Tony as a agent of change or something like that. The dancing we did this afternoon is going to kind of evolve as we get to this evening. If you stay this evening, you'll see dancing that is very closely related, and yet it has changed. It always changes because we're part of a living tradition, and by changing it stays healthy and vibrant. And Tony did a lot of that in his time as a choreographer. His choreography was innovative and brought square dance calls into contra dances in a way that hadn't happened before. So I just want to recognize that. That's kind of how we wanted to plan this day, is being able to see the change right before your eyes. This award is not called a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's called a Lifetime Contribution Award. And that's to recognize people who've contributed so much to our living traditions and to our community and to the mission that CDSS represents. So there's no one who exemplifies that in my mind more than Tony Parkes. He's the perfect recipient of this reward. So I have something. I actually have a box for it, which is useful because it's fragile. So, Beth, could you come up? Someone please be ready with a camera. This is a Lifetime Contribution Award for Tony Parkes.
Tony had 6 months between his diagnosis of glioblastoma and his passing away. And those 6 months for him were a gift of knowing how much you cared for him. He learned about this, but more, he learned about all the ways that he had touched people's lives. And you might think he would have known that, but he didn't. But he did before he died, so thank you.
Plays Tony Parkes, Shadrach's Delight. And do-si-do, go once around and a little bit more. Make a wave, balance now. Allemande right, Allemande left to a wave and balance again. Partner swing. Down the hall you go. As a couple. Cast around, face across, do the right and left through. 2 robins, you chain cross. On to the next, and do-si-do. Please say good evening to Stove Dragon.
Bow to your partner. Bow to your corner. Now join hands and circle to the left. Go all the way around. And when you're home, you balance and you swing your own. Take your partner promenade, go all the way around. Square your sets, head couples forward and back. Go forward again with your opposite swing. Face the nearest side couple and split those sides. Go around just one to the ends of a line at the sides, go forward and back. All forward again and pass through, arch in the middle and the ends dive through. Heads, you circle to the left in the middle, all the way around. Face your partner and pass through, split those sides, round just one, lines at the sides, go forward, up to the middle, come on back. Go forward and pass through, arch in the middle and the ends dive through. Heads, circle to the left, all the way around. Face your partner, pass through, Alaman left your corner, swing your partners all at home. Swing, swing, swing right there.
Now promenade the ring and everybody sing because, just because. Head couples, 2 hands, sashay. Come back. Side couples, show them how it's done. Come on home. Everyone, look for your corner. It's Alaman left your corner and right and round your own. Swing your original partner. Promenade the ring and everybody sing because, just because. Do-si-do with your corner. Right hand, go twice around your own. Alaman the left with the one you just left. And do-si-do your own. Alaman left your corner and you balance partners all. Grand right and left around the hall. When you meet that special one, promenade until you're done. Because, just because, swing your partner. Because, just because, that's all. Thank your partners, thank your squares.